Welcome back to another video from Leadership Development That Works, the channel focused on no-nonsense practical advice. It's going to help you be a better leader. My name's Kyle Berger. I'll be your partner in the leadership trenches. With my real-world experience, we'll craft actionable strategies that work. The focus of today's video is helping you as a leader effectively deal with and manage problematic behavior. I've got two strategies that are going to help you in that space that I want to cover with you. But before we get into the heart of it, I want to remind you to like and subscribe so you can get future leadership tips. Also, I'll be happy to read any comments or feedback you put below. So, problematic behavior. Let's face it, it comes in all flavors, shapes, and sizes, doesn't it? And as a leader, there's no getting around dealing with it. So I want to help you deal with it effectively. So the first strategy I want to cover with you is really a mindset shift. So a lot of times we're experiencing the problematic behavior as a leader, and we get stuck at that surface level. We're frustrated, we're irritated by it, and we react from that place. So a lot of times our reaction is going to be a very emotional, sort of reactive response to it, which, as you know, is not the most effective response, or we're going to avoid it altogether. So the first thing I want you to do in that mindset shift is I want you to recognize the problematic behavior you're experiencing is a symptom. The question I want you to ask yourself is, what is going on at a root cause level that is driving this symptomatic behavior? So at a root cause, what is going on with this person that's driving this behavior? And you may have to investigate that a little bit to get a good answer for yourself. But if you are able to do that and make that shift, it really can help you effectively deal with it, because now it's not personal to you. And that's what you'll find out. So I'll give you an example. It's a very simple example, but it illustrates the point. A number of years ago, I was working in a corporate job. We're a cubicled environment. The responsibility of my job was I had to clear so many cases a day. So I tend to be a serious guy, like to get my work done, focused. And I had a coworker who also worked in this environment with me, who constantly came over and would spend time talking with me. And, I always wondered, when was he getting his work done? And I would drop hints, trying to discourage him from coming over or letting him know that I needed to get back to my work, but he never would take the hints. And I started to get frustrated and irritated and I was stuck at that surface level in terms of how I was responding to it. Then one day the company came in and had us all do Myers-Briggs, and this guy scored off the chart extrovert. I scored down the middle between introvert and extrovert. Immediately it clicked for me. This isn't personal. This is how this guy's wired. That's what's driving this. I went a level deeper. Now I'm in a much better position without all that emotional reactivity baggage to actually effectively deal with it. So at that point, I a matter of factly laid down the boundaries with him. So when he came over, I said, listen, I've got work to do. Let me catch you at lunch. Or when I take a break later, let me stop over and you can tell me more about that story. But I was able to much more calmly and a matter of factly lay out the ground rules for him. And he responded accordingly. And I was able to deal with that situation effectively. So that is a really key point. Mindset shift, root cause. So the second strategy is, once you've identified the root cause, you have to adjust how you respond to that accordingly so you can move things in the right direction and be constructive in terms of solving this problematic behavior you're dealing with. So I'll give you a couple of examples of problematic behavior that we typically run into, right? You may have an excuse maker. You may have somebody who is a chronic complainer but doesn't bring forward solutions. Don't tell me that doesn't drive you up the wall. You may have a know-it-all, somebody who gets defensive, somebody who doesn't play nice with other departments. The list goes on, right? So let's take chronic complainer. This is one that frustrates a lot of leaders. The person comes forward with complaints all the time, but they don't have solutions. What is going on at a root level here? What's root cause? I'm experiencing the symptoms, which are driving me up the wall, but what's at the root of this? I think you'll find in a lot of situations, not all, but in a lot of situations and something like that, it's low self-esteem, low confidence. Okay, it's not personal to you, right? So now you can start to think about how to effectively manage this because you're beyond that surface level emotional reaction and you're able to more concretely see the path forward here. So I've got a chronic complainer, he never comes or she never comes forward with solutions. I'm going to now challenge them to start bringing solutions forward. So the next time they come into my office and they're complaining about something, I'm going to say, hey, listen, I'm happy to hear you out and engage with you and help you in any way that I can, but you have a responsibility to come forward with what you think we ought to do and what you think the solution is. And my expectation is that you will start doing that going forward. Now, the first time you do that, they're going to say, well, I don't know. This is where the power of having one-on-ones, which I cover in other videos on my channel, really can make a difference. So they say, well, I don't know. I'm not sure. You know what? Why don't you go and think about that? And when we have our one-on-one next week, let's start off with that. I want to hear from you what you think we ought to do about it. I'm going to provide you my feedback and my thoughts, but I'm going to want to hear from you first. So now you're more constructively dealing with this issue. You're dealing with that root cause. Now, don't get me wrong. You're not a psychologist. You're not going to be able to fundamentally fix, per se, somebody's low self-esteem issue, which comes from all kinds of environmental things that have led to them to be at that point. But you still can, as it comes and relates to work, get this thing moving in the right direction. But you got to get out of the surface level reaction and you've got to start dealing at root cause level and match up your approach to what you believe to be or what you identify is that root cause. So, to recap, problematic behavior, 2 strategies. Mindset shift. You have got to get beyond that surface level reaction. You're dealing with the symptoms. Don't react to the symptoms. Go to root cause. Secondly, once you've identified root cause, you've got to match your approach to that root cause so you can effectively start dealing with this and moving it in the right direction. I'd love to hear your comments and feedback on this. If you've gotten other strategies that you've used, or if you have used these strategies, or if you're thinking about using these strategies, let's keep the conversation going. Again, I want to remind you to like and subscribe for future leadership tips. Also, I have another video that you can link to here on proactive communication for leaders, which ties in nicely with this topic. Thank you for your attention.